Oh, don't fail us now. That could be them right there. It's dirty. Got a terminal that's steamy. Woo! That could have been fun. So it's trying to run on one plug at the end of the day. Hey, this is Davin with Hagerty, and today I'm with this fabulous 51 Hudson Hornet, and we're gonna see if it'll run.
You're the Fabulous Hudson Hornet.
Hey, if you like what you're watching, check out the Hagerty Drivers Club. Link's right down here in the description. So the story goes that this car's been sitting here for about 5 to 10 years in place. And prior to that was driving around and such, but not very well. So today we want to see if we can make it run and well, really make these other two jealous, because they're not. It's crazy to think that these things ruled the track, the NASCAR track in the 50s. Flathead 6. As Glenn would say, all the soldiers in a row. Okay, well, let's get after this by starting off with the plugs. Let's pull the plugs out of it. Let's put some oil down there, and then basically grab the crank pulley. See if we can roll this over by hand before we whack it with the starter and have problems that way. And then we'll attack the fuel system right after that. Oh, wow, they tuck our way back here. Oh, it's fine. Nice and topped off. Good deal. Okay, we're good there. The big one. She's running a little rich. All right, so pulling our plugs out, checking gaps in the plugs, looking to see general condition. Yes, it could be a concern as I just seemingly haphazardly just yank all the plug wires off. But given that they're only going to reach to one side, as long as I don't do anything crazy here and take the looms off, you know, that plug wire is only going to reach to there. So that's pretty straightforward. Other times you definitely have to be careful. You need longer arms for this car. You could cook hot dogs on the top of this head after it was hot. What? Is that a challenge? That sounds like a challenge. Let's see that this is a inline 6, 308 cubic inches, which would be a 5 liter in today's grand terms. But that's normally in a V8, not in a straight 6. These pistons got to be huge. And you can see the tops of most of them. Well, I guess you can't actually see the tops of the piston area. You're seeing the valves in this case. All right, regardless. See what we got here. All right, so we're gonna put a little deep creep down the spark plug holes. This is an in-block setup. So we're really putting, it's still on the top of the plug, top of the piston, but it may have to float over a little bit. That'll definitely help it. I got a little dirt in that one, but it'll be okay. Let's see if I can turn this by the fan. Hopefully the belt's tight enough, but the pan turns. Only because reaching the crank is always fun. Oh, look at that. Yeah, that's a good sign. Here's what we have. As I look down the holes for the spark plugs, you're right on top of the valves. and they are moving up and down at this point. So the pistons actually sit offset just a hair on this, because the valves, intake and exhaust valves, are all in the block, not in the head. It's not an overhead valve engine. They are all moving up and down, and I feel some amount of compression because it is pushing air out of the holes. So that's a good sign. It's interesting when you look at these old cars how stuff is done, right? Now, you have the engine, it's a flathead, that grabs your eye right away. But when you look at, okay, carburetor and intake and exhaust are all shoved over on one side. So now you have to have, you know, like the linkage set up because you're driving on the left side, your pedals on the left side, you have all these lever arms bringing, you know, your operation of the gas pedal clear up through a bell crank, through another bell crank, and then finally over to the carburetor. Likewise, you have on this side, well, actually, let's stay right here. So up here you have a pulley system set up for your wipers. The wipers are also run off vacuum. They're not run off an electric motor. That vacuum is produced by the fuel pump in the actuation rod. So there's a double diaphragm in here, one diaphragm for the fuel pump to draw fuel from the fuel tank and push it up to the carburetor. But then there's also a diaphragm on that same arm that creates vacuum to run the windshield wipers. Of course, that vacuum would stay pretty constant, so you don't get that delayed wiper or loss of wipers when you need it. But anyway, kind of an interesting setup when you look at all the changes and stuff as you go through the years. And for those that you've already seen, that's correct. They took the generator out, and this has an alternator in it. Actually, a great upgrade overall from a longevity standpoint. Or reliability, I should say longevity. All right, I digress. Let's go. I think we want to spin it over with the starter without plugs in it. Let's see what we have though. First, how's our carburetor situation look? Ah, big bonehead.
Oh, it's oil.
Yeah, oil filled. So don't turn these air filters upside down like I just did. They're full of oil. You turn the air cleaner upside down and you get oil over your hands. Rookie mistake. It has fairly clean carburetor. Helps to have the air cleaner left on them. All right, so I'm gonna jump here and pull the fuel filter out of here. Get that out of the way. And just in case, after we get it started off of our tank, we can put some fuel in the stock tank. Of course, if there's any fuel in it, as this is pumping and turning over, we'll probably get a little bit of a bath, and then we'll put a fresh fuel filter on it. It's got fuel in it. Don't even smell bad. In case we don't need to use our pump, I'm going to turn this over, but I'm going to catch any fuel that comes out of that right here in our handy water bottle. That way we can see it, see what kind of condition it is. Also verify that the pump works, so that'd be kind of cool. And we'll go from there. But first, let me see if I can find the key. So yes, the owner has a couple sets of keys. Obviously, these are not all for the same car. There's an Imperial key. That's cool. Let's see. We have a 56 Chrysler. Thankfully, most of them are late. Ooh, 57 300C. All right. I'm going to guess Doc Hudson is this one right here. I'm going to set that here, but we do have to get back to the battery. There's that. Now let's put the key in it. Oh boy. Okay. We are a clutch car. I'm gonna push the clutch in. I wouldn't stand in front.
Thank you.
Just in case. Lights on. Let's see if it turns over. Oh. That sounds good. All right. Did we get any fuel out of it? Ooh, we did. Look at that. Okay. That don't look bad. Kind of goldish, but not bad at all. All right, so it spins over real nice, and the fuel, it's got a weird look to it, but it smells good. We're gonna see if it burns. First, we gotta clean up our plugs. We're just gonna scratch them up with a wire brush, and then we'll check it for spark real quick. Put the plugs back in. Fresh fuel filter. We might be driving this thing around even. I mean, heck, why not? Okay, so all our plugs are cleaned up with a brush. I'm just gonna grab the front one here. Okay, go ahead. Oh yeah. Hey, we forgot to put our bottle back on. Excellent. We got good spark on that one. All right, well that was fun. Let's throw our plugs back in, and we'll be ready for a fresh fuel filter. I'm gonna run this right off the tank. It's got all kinds of pump pressure, at least volume I should say, coming from the pump, and fuel looks good, doesn't smell rotten. What the heck? Electrically, we have spark. We know we have some amount of compression, and everything turns over free that way. We have fuel going to the carburetor. I think we can just get in there, turn it over, fill the fuel bowls up, give it a couple pumps. I don't think we have fuel in the, yeah, the carburetor's dry, but let's pump some up in there. Here we go. We got no leaks, right?
No, it's puking.
Is it?
Yeah.
I was afraid of that. But it has that nice trough, so it runs it right on top of the intake manifold and kind of directs it away from the exhaust, kind of. Whoops. Really what it amounts to is this fitting doesn't have much of a barb on it, so our hose is leaking, and it's leaking mainly because I can't tighten that spring clamp. Ideally we'd actually change that, but I think we can make this work. Put a little bubble gum on it, we'll be good. Yeah, that should be better. There we go. Oh, we got squirted. So the squirters are working. Here we go. I got a good feeling about this. Oh, we know what that means. Oh, come on, baby. Probably got too much fuel on it now. Or not enough. Which one is it? It's either too much or not enough.
I don't smell really much of anything out here, so.
Okay, not enough. I need a hand choke.
Meaning,
Put your hand over
put
it.
my hand over it.
Like half of it.
Yep.
Ready?
Yep.
It should suck your hand, so don't be afraid.
Yep.
Don't be scared.
Got fuel all over my hands.
Well, it's working then. We might have flooded it.
Yeah, there's a crap load of fuel in there.
And that choke is open, right?
The choke is open.
Okay. All right, here we are. No fuel. Just about. Oh, no feelings now. That battery's just sucking all the juice out of that jump pack.
I thought you said this one was going to be easy.
Always my famous last words. It's gonna be easy. Red to positive. Black to negative. Maybe that gas isn't any good. You know what? I'm gonna say that gas isn't good. So here's the thing. It lights up and quits. Lights up, quits. That's why the starter kicks out. Basically, the motor starts to spin on its own, so the starter, the way it's set up, it kicks out. So you can't just continually turn it while it's trying to fire. Basically, so it doesn't break the starter. That fuel had a weird color, but it smelled fine. Maybe I was too optimistic on the condition. So,
You only check spark on one plug.
I did only check spec on one. I did only check the spark on one plug. You know what we didn't do? Yes, fellas. You can scream at me. We checked spark, but we didn't check the points. We didn't take the cap off at all. We got way ahead of ourselves. You know, that's usually Jeff's job. That's what it is. All right, let's go here. What are we thinking? All right, dang it. Tried to be too minimalistic here. It's the hotel that we stayed at. They were a minimalist hotel, and that kind of rotted my brain, evidently. So let's see what we have here, because maybe we got... It's not horrible. Not horrible. But we didn't check the points. We're probably not getting great consistent spark. It's not ridiculous. Let's clean it. Yeah. Shoot, boy, did I get ahead of myself. Dang it. It's got connection. Maybe we started on some better fuel, just like dripping it down the top.
Yeah, just to see.
Mm-hmm.
No, don't pump any.
Yeah.
Just
So we got that water bottle. We'll put some fresh fuel in it. That's pretty good. In retrospect here, looking at this fuel being yellow, and it has a lot more potency in the smell than that other stuff, so too optimistic. Okay, let's put some fuel right down there. Go ahead. let's get rid of some of that. We're gonna take an extension, stick it in here to plug our pump, so we're not spraying fuel everywhere. It'll deadhead it, but it shouldn't. It shouldn't. Famous last words. Shouldn't do anything more than that. So let's do that. That's out of the way. This way, we do have whatever fuel's in that carburetor that's bad, but maybe we can work past it. I don't see a drain on there. And then, yeah. All right, back to plan A. Electric fuel pump. Our pump is good. That's not really what we're after. What we're after is some fresh fuel to it. So there's fresh fuel supply. All right, John, kick it over. Just a little bit so we can see if we got spark on these. Okay, that'd be no. Did we lose our coil for some reason? Or did the coil give up the ghost, right? Because it could have. That shows good. 1.5. Why do we don't have spark? All right, so let's make sure we didn't lose power to the coil. So John's going to turn on the ignition. Ignition on?
Yeah.
12 volts. Okay. Should have power across the resistor as well. 12 volts. 12, power out, 12. Okay. Gap looks fine. That could be a problem right there. It's dirty. Dirty, nasty. See, that's what it's supposed to look like. That side's nice and clean. All right, so here's part of our problem, for sure, is the end of the coil wire that goes into the distributor cap is rotted. Actually, I went to spread this out a little bit and it popped off. So I'm guessing it is not making any connection right there. So I basically got power to here, but it can't get out here. So let's see what I have for, look at this, some extra plug wires. So this might be a little long, but it'll be just fine. Where's our coil wire at on there? Right there, yep. Cool, let's try that. Oh, I like that. Fits a little nicer. Okay. All right, John. Oh, excuse me. All right, John, back at her. There's spark there. That ain't great spark, but there's some. All right, go ahead. That sounded better. All right. Getting closer. Go ahead. Go ahead. There was spark there. Spark there. I don't know if I saw any there. Yeah. Good. Yep. Well, it's trying to. It really wants to start. It feels like I'm giving up. All right, fellers. I'm sorry. But we're going to have to do it. We're going to give it a shot. See if it'll poke 2 cylinders, I'll say fast enough to get the rest of them going. All right, so here we go. Go ahead. Go ahead. Gotta find it. I know it'll do it. Go ahead. Closer. Go ahead. Woo! That could have been fun. Come on! That starter solenoid's saying, hey, easy. Okay, we are so close to getting this running, and you know, I'm pretty optimistic that I can make these plugs work, but I think I'm gonna find out that every one of them we're getting plenty of fuel, folks. So we're gonna put fresh plugs in it. I'm gonna spin it over and blow any fuel out of the cylinders just so we get a fresh start, because we may have drowned this thing so bad just trying to get it to run. And yeah, that's the only one that's dry. So it's trying to run on one plug at the end of the day. Not bad.
Smell it, but no, didn't see any.
Oh yeah, you smell it.
They look healthier, don't they? A lot healthier. Okay, John, we'll spin it and then stop and spin it and stop, most likely. That one's pretty weak. They all have spark. Sooner. Okay. Come on, baby. That's better.
Yeah, good job!
Gonna idle right down. Watch this. Can you imagine 6 spark plugs fought us that bad? I don't know. Yes, it could, because we don't get spark. No, you're right. But it's running. So, whatever. We got it. We beat it. It purrs nice. Little rever? Driver. Wants a driver. Man, we want a driver. You know, it's gonna be hard. Who's gonna run with the gas can alongside? And we're gonna put the stock fuel line back on, and we're gonna run the Peach gas. It's especially formulated for low compression motors. And we'll ditch the high test stuff over here. For the record, there is coolant in the radiator. So, and how do I know that? Because every once in a while we get a little leak right here. Anyhow, we're gonna top that old battery out. It's really weak. I don't have time to charge it. We'll use the one we have. I guess we could see though. Let's see. If it keeps running, the alternator's producing juice going to the coil. If it stops running, the alternator's not providing juice. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Alternator works. So we don't have to change the battery. We just may need to have the battery hooked up, basically jump it, to get it started like this, and then take a cruise. I like that a lot better. I don't know about you guys, but I like them running a lot better than not running and being snarky. Okay, let's get this fuel line off. I'm gonna hop in, fire back up, fingers crossed, on the fuel that's in the tank, and disconnect the battery, put the hood down, go for a ride. Just like that. All right, so boom, boom, clip these together. Less likely to snap. Get this out of the way. There we go. All right, here we go. All right, you guys behave. Oh, scared it.
Finally got that new fuel in there.
Got rid of the new fuel already. Let's see how much battery's in there. We had it running for a little bit. We broke it. The good sign is it starts right back up now. And that dies.
Where have you set it?
I think I need to, let me give it. I went through and I hooked up and said, well, screw it, we'll run off the tank. Now that we have the cylinders warm, so on and so forth. Well, it runs for about, count to 10 and pretty much dies. So I went back to my fuel tank. I think something's collapsing within the fuel system. So either the fuel line coming right out of the backside of the fuel pump, basically supplying the pump, either that's sucking tight or the tank's been coated, so maybe that has come loose and is sucking tight there. So either way, we're not getting fuel is what I'm thinking. I'm gonna prove that by, prove or disprove, by going back to our tank setup. So start the pump, boom. I know I got fuel pressure and fuel going to my carburetor. We'll get through it eventually. We'll get through it eventually. Well, we started this initially, we were way up high too, so we'll do the same thing. Get through some of that old fuel, that'll obviously changes two things, but that's fine. We still know it's fuel related. And we have good oil pressure. Here's all I'm going to conclude. It's fuel. Good fuel, pump, runs like a top. Now, let's see if we can make it move. Strategically placed, there we go. Here. We're gonna do it one better. There. Don't mind the rag. This is the first, folks. You're seeing it right here. Then, stand clear. And away we roll. Look at that. Yeah, buddy. I'm driving Doc. And we're even going the right direction for circle track racing, by the way, in case anybody was wondering.
This ain't asphalt, son. This is dirt.
Ooh, second gear. Sweet. Drifter sideways next time around. I think I got him wet. do you think of that? We got it running. It was a little iffy there for a minute. I won't question you there. But hey, Doc runs. This is sweet. Hey, got one laying around? Get out there. Go try to start it. Go have some fun. Go get your work done. See ya.